Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 15, Book 3, Plexor the Raging Reptile, and easily this is the best book of Series 15 to me so far. First thing I want to say, with my new video editing software, you may see some black bars in some videos. I'm doing everything in my power to decrease them for you, so if they do pop up in any video, they shouldn't be massively fat. But with that being said, let's get into what me and my friend Adam call the Nessie of Beast Quest, Plexor, the Raging Reptile, and that of course being Adam Ferns. Okay, like always, in-depth story analysis, so let's get to it. Our heroes were crossing the desert and heading to the next location of another of Tangalia's sacred treasures. They had to reach a town called Iran. It was tough, though. Not only was it hard to get through the desert, but also Daltic arrived via a magic vision spell and explained all the Avantians, himself included, had been arrested by the Tangalians. They were accused of aiding our heroes for, and I quote, stealing the artifacts. The Queen was beginning to have doubts. Tom told Daltic to give them more time. He had to try and keep the Queen and the Tangalians held back to stop a war being started. Soon our heroes came across a dried-up well, and next to it lied a warrior who looked parched. It was Prince Rotu. Tom and friends saved Rotu by giving some of their water. He snatched and greedily nearly gulped it all down, but he did thank them for saving his life. So it did seem he was starting to respect our heroes, despite what he believed them to be. They were now in one group and continued their way to the town of Iran. Eleanor mentioned there was an oasis on the way, a good spot to get some drinking water, which explains why our heroes was okay giving so much to Prince Rotu. Anyway, our heroes came across some mirages in the desert. Tom saw Uncle Henry, Freya, and Kensa all around him. I must admit it did get me a bit when Freya said Velma had captured her again. When Tom broke free, thanks to Storm, he quickly saved Eleanor by splashing the last bit of water to wake her up. She thought she was fighting some Peo's pirates, but when they realized Rotu was gone, and soon, so was the map. So, at the same time when Rotu was gone, the map was also gone. So it's either Eleanor lost the map while that time with the mirages, or, Rotu took the map and stole it. But to be fair, I think most of us agree that probably Rotu took the map. Tom and friends decided to use the power of the red jewel, as they knew the beast would lead them to the next treasure, and before losing the map they realized that the next treasure was near an oasis beside the town, Iran. Tom sensed the next beast's thoughts. He said all who enter his waters would die. When our heroes reached the village they found Prince Rotu. He explained he had recovered from his illusions, and at the same time he ended up here. Soon our heroes were interrupted by a boy and a girl telling them to not enter the lake, as a monster lies in it. But the people of the town wouldn't stop. They were searching for a statue of a cursed fish. Even talking to the elder made no difference. The boats were starting to leave the harbour. It's nice to have a callback to most of this dialogue. It does seem familiar to other classic sea monster movies, like The Kraken, Jaws, and of course Nessie. Only a nice change is the beast is an oasis in the middle of a desert, so that's unique. And I like the fact that Tom uses the power of the red jewel in a different way. Besides communication, he uses it as a tracking way when the map is lost, so that's a nice way, because, he knows that the beasts are guarding the treasures, so it makes sense to do that. With some people already on the lake and others singing about the great festivity, no by now he couldn't reason with these people. So the very least he could do was to defend when Plexor arrived. He would protect them while they made a retreat to the shore. Tom and Eleanor took a boat and left Rotu in charge of their animals, and it seemed that he gave them support on our hero's quest. This could be a trick, but I don't think so. It did feel really sincere to me. Anyway, Tom and Eleanor arrived. The beast made himself known, scaring everyone off, and using the power of the red jewel, they discovered his name, Plexor. Another battle was about to get underway. They even spotted what appears to be the orb in Plexor's eye via communication. Plexor explained he had blocked the channels so that people can't access the water supply. He was planning to keep all the water for himself and to let the desert dry them out, which seems to make sense. Plexor's not in the right environment. He should be in an ocean. It wouldn't surprise me if Velmal knew by putting Plexor into the oasis he would need all the water he can to sustain himself. But then Plexor is loyal to Velmal, so he wouldn't mind if that he wouldn't mind about that. Tom grabbed a harpoon and gets another badass moment, launching himself with the harpoon onto Plexor. Now Plexor did get him off, but the harpoon did some damage. While Tom tried to retreat to the shore, Plexor was closing in fast, but the prince came with a crowd of townsfolk and started firing some harpoons, saving Tom from Plexor's wrath. This was the second time now that Rotu had saved Tom, but it got even better. With the aid of the townsfolk, Rotu was able to toss a large net over Plexor, finally capturing the beast. He even asked Tom to come and help secure their capture. Now I did go on a bit of a rant about Rotu, saying the story should be focusing more on its villain, Velmal, as his revenge. But even with that being said, the development for Rotu is going really well. It's not rushed. It seems he's gaining more respect for our heroes with each encounter they have. So I really do like the friendship aspect between our heroes and Rotu. Tom was heading over when he noticed a hooded figure. Well, I wonder who that might be. Tom had his sword ready, telling Plexor to surrender, which it seemed he was until boom! It was a trick. Plexor had tricked them into catching himself so he could get the drop on Tom. But despite Tom's best efforts, it didn't change the outcome. Plexor had escaped. The villagers rightfully yelled at Tom for falling for Plexor's trick, but Corey defended him, saying anyone would have ended up the same way. Tom begged the people to give him one last chance. If he could go into one of the wells and enter the watery depths, he could find Plexor's underwater lair and finally end this battle. Tom gained the trust and took Rotu and Eleanor with a rope to lower him down into the well. Rotu was back to his snobby attitude, but Tom didn't listen. He tried to ignore it. He was lowered into the well, and he had a tough time pushing through Plexor's water trap with, his magic shield, with Sepron's tooth down there. Luckily, he overpowered it and gradually got through. He had made it to Plexor's lair, and Tom assumed Plexor thought he was dead, giving our hero the element of surprise. Tom took the battle to the surface, where he saw some wrecked boats with a busted anchor, but a chain which could prove useful. Tom took the chain to bind around Plexor's mouth shut, while also using it at the same time as heavy rains to tame Plexor down. However, Plexor was having none of that, and he took Tom to the bottom of the waters, hoping to either knock him off or let his breath give out. Tom caught on to this idea quick, and decided to block up Plexor's gills. That way neither of them could sustain themselves for much longer. Plexor broke out, gasping for air, and Tom took his advantage. When the beast's guard lowered, he took control of Plexor's body with the chains and made him crash onto the shore. Tom demanded he surrendered, and finally he did, leaving the orb only left as Plexor faded away. Plus, the rains had returned to Iran. The village had been saved. So that was nice how Tom was able to beat him with that little trick of the underwater stuff, because, Plexor tries to get Tom drowned in the water. It starts off with, I'm going to chain your mouth up so you can't bite me. Then Plexor's like, fine, then if I can't bite you, I'll make you drown to death. And then, Tom's like having none of that, and he blocks off Plexor's own gills, so he can't breathe either. He goes to the surface. Plexor's all tuckered out from that, and then Tom takes that advantage, drives the beast's own body into the shore and crashes him that way, beating the beast. Pretty awesome stuff. Tom got the praise of the people, and even when he even thanked Rotu for helping out take down the beast. Truly a friendship was being forged, but there was still some concern. Tom remembered the hooded figure watching. I have a feeling on who that is. But aside from that, they soon found the sand map inside Rotu's bag. He had it all along. He stole it back from Eleanor while they were hallucinating. Then Tom put it together that Rotu drugged them, allowing him to steal the map. Rotu had been against them from the very beginning. It was all a con. I do like that they explain in detail enough, instead of Tom pulling information out of nowhere. It felt like he had put the knowledge he had known together well, I think. Tom went to the well to inform Eleanor, but they had been sent into the bottom of the well. Then Tom was pushed in as well. Rotu was there. He had taken the 3 treasures for himself, and then was joined by Velmal. Yep, it was revealed that Rotu was working with Velmal, as Velmal had promised him kingship of Tangala. if he helped with his scheme. Velmal explained this entire quest was a setup for Tom. He had given each beast of Tangara one of the treasures to control them. Yeah, he had given them one of the treasures to control them, and with the power of his black jewel, he could control any beast holding one of the 4 treasures. Velmal and Rotu headed off, bringing the final beast to attack Panaya. So this is what confuses me. Wardok broke Velmal out, and he hasn't stolen the crown yet at that point, but he's still under Velmal's control. So my point is, if the black jewel can control any beast as long as it's holding one of the 4 other treasures, how did Velmal control Wardok to break out? But that plot hole aside, the rest makes sense. Steal the treasures to control the beasts. Tom is set up as a thief. Rotu wants kingship because he feels his aunt is too soft. She needs to be tougher. So he thinks he should take his rightful place on the throne. I must say, this was an unexpected twist. I was wondering why Rotu got so much focus and not Velmal, but now it makes sense. Once again, another great scheme by Velmal. And I was carried away. I thought like, oh, is this the book where Rotu turns to the good side? Actually, no. I really like this book. Adam Blade, props to you. You really gave us a floop. You thought Rotu's going to join your side. He's going to gain your trust, and boom! No, he's not. He's really working for Velmal. And we knew. I mean, when I said I knew that Rotu took the map, I was thinking because before this, we assumed that Rotu was this snobby character and was thinking for himself. He didn't like them. He was doing this for the kingdom to help his queen, you know. But no, he was doing all these bad things not because he thought he hated the Avartians, but he was doing it for Velmal, and that completely threw me off guard. And it does explain why Velmal didn't have much focus, because Rotu was his puppet on the part of this, and it wouldn't surprise me if Velmal turns on Rotu. But we're all gonna see, aren't we? So we've got an epic finale next time, but right now, Plexor, the Raging Reptile, is easily the best book of Series 15 for me, and you can easily see why. Great story, a really good beast fight. It goes on for one bit, then it gets broken off into the second half, so that's nice. But next time, without further ado, like always, the next awesome Beast Quest review is Quagos the Armored Beetle. Till next time, guys, peace!